So now let me introduce you to a topic of cavitation. So this is really very important topic and you must understand it physically also because it is applicable to so many things. Wherever blades are involved, wherever low pressures and high pressures are involved or pressures lesser than ambient pressures are involved, cavitation problem can occur. So, and it can have devastating results on our fluid machines and blades. Wherever blades are involved, it can have very devastating results. So let me introduce to you to that. So in turbine, we were using draft tube towards the inlet of a draft tube. So after the rotor blades were ending, the exit of rotor blades and the inlet of draft tube was starting from there. So we were using draft tube to convert we used to use draft tube to recover some of the kinetic energy to gain a pressure energy, and that pressure will lead to increase the energy uh, taken away from the fluid. But for pump, the inlet of pump is the point where we have the minimum pressure. So early in turbine, the minimum point of pressure was inlet of the draft tube. For pump, the minimum pressure point in the whole system is the inlet of pump. That is the suction pressure, which we say suction point. So that is the impeller entry or rotor entry for us. So for suction of fluid inside pump at suction line, pump creates a negative pressure gauge pressure with respect to PATM. That is the sump pressure. And we know that the inlet pressure is less than PATM. That's what we have in the suction line. So if this pressure is less than vapor pressure at the working temperature, then boiling can occur. That is the simple concept. If the pressure is lesser than the vapor pressure, there will be evaporation. And the forced evaporation is same as boiling. And we are working at a given temperature. So that boiling can happen. That is bubble formation can happen, and that is same as cavitation. So cavitation requirement is that the working pressure is lesser than the vapor pressure of the fluid. So over here, water. So that means that we cannot place pump at large height from sump. The large height from sump, that means if the sump is over here and the pump we are putting at two different locations, here the suction pressure is going to be smaller because it has to suck the fluid for smaller length. Over here, the suction pressure is going to be larger because it has to take a large elevation gain by suction, the pressure gradient. So in this case, over here, we know that the PATM is going to happen in both conditions. But over here at the suction point, the different pressures will occur. So if there is a larger height gain, we want the pressure over here has to be lower. Larger the height, lower the pressure we want. So if that lower pressure is lesser than the vapor pressure, then the cavitation problems will start occurring. And the problem over here, the cavitation problem, which professors won't explain easily or they will not enforce this problem with cavitation, is the bubble formation is not the major problem. The major problem comes into picture. The bubbles are very small in size, we know, with respect to our macro world. So what's the problem? When we scale down, the pressure gradient inside the bubble and to the outside is very large. So the higher the pressure gradient, we have a large amount of energy stored inside our bubble. And if that bubble bursts, that will lead to a very large amount of energy release. That energy is released in the form of pressure shock wave. And that shock wave is going to give devastating results on the blade, and that blade will start degrading. So that's the major problem with respect to cavitation. Bubble formation is not the problem. Bubble formation can lead to cavitation, that is degrading of our blades if the bubbles burst. So the thing is, we want to find the maximum head given by the pump, as I explained earlier, because if we increase head, the suction pressure that is, it reduces from PATM. So we can have a maximum head to which we can suck the fluid up from the sump. If we want more height, we can use multiple pumps, but the single pump can lead to cavitation problems. So let's use Bernoulli's equation at the inlet of the pump and sump. There are 2 points. This is the inlet of sump, that is the open to atmosphere, and this is the inlet of pump, that is the end point of the suction pipe. Okay, so the pressure is the pressure in the pumping system, which is the minimum pressure. This pressure P1, So we have rearranged the equation in terms of P1, PATM, V1 and elevation head and losses are included over here. So we know the minimum pressure or the pressure at the suction point. Suction point pressure is known, and that is the minimum pressure. That's from the theory. So now we will continue. The inlet, that is the suction pipe is of larger diameter. This is practical thing you must notice, that the suction pipe are of larger diameter and delivery pipe are of smaller diameter. This is because in suction pipe, the velocities will remain smaller if given a larger diameter, and in delivery pipe we want larger velocity, more velocity, because that's why we are putting the pipes of smaller diameter, so we can have more velocity, more head at the end. So as to increase the P minimum, we should reduce V1, we should reduce, so that's the purpose of larger diameter. We want to reduce V1. This is because if we have smaller V1, the P minimum will be larger, because that's having a negative sign over there. So we want small velocity at the inlet. That's why we are having larger diameters. And we want to reduce the pressure loss, friction loss of head. So by using larger diameter pipe, we increase the area, we reduce velocity, and reducing velocity also means reducing frictional head loss, because the frictional head loss equation HF is FLV square by 2dg. So velocity has reduced, diameter has increased, so overall frictional loss has reduced. Now we want to tackle Z1. So Z1 is the thing which we can handle. So we can use submersible pump, in which we can place pump below our sump also. So they are newer pumps, but we will not take that into consideration. We have non-submersible pump right now in our syllabus. So now we want to derive that minimum pressure thing, or the maximum height we can take. That's the motto of studying this. So let's introduce a cavitation parameter sigma c. So how it is defined? We have V1 square by 2g is equal to sigma c, that is the cavitation parameter, into h, that is the net head available given by the pump. So we have just rearranged the above equation. We have just rearranged to get V1 square by 2g. And now we have the cavitation parameter sigma c is equal to this whole term divided by capital H, that is the head provided. So this is the equation again. And then we can define one more parameter, that is Thomas critical cavitation parameter, which is defined as sigma. And in this there is only one change, which is respect to P. Here we had P minimum, that was the actual pressure, actual suction pressure inside our pumping system, and we are replacing that P minimum with PV, that is the vapor pressure of the fluid. So that's the only difference between critical cavitation parameter and Thomas critical cavitation parameter. So now we want to avoid cavitation. So the minimum pressure should be greater than the vapor pressure. And using the above two equation, we can find out that sigma c should be less than sigma. So this is very helpful for selecting a pump also. We want to avoid cavitation in our pump. So a net positive suction head is defined by this. Net positive suction head is defined by this equation. And the maximum positive suction head which we can use, so the maximum height to which we can place our pump from the sump is given by this. So we have already everything known. So we have HF known, we have PATM known, we have PV, that is the vapor pressure known. So that's all. From next video we'll see a question on critical cavitation.